Well, hello everyone. This week I have good news for you and bad news. The good news, actually, I don't know. It depends on how you look at it. The news is we're going to do our midterm. So that could be good or bad for you, right? It's halfway through, but this module is going to be a little bit more work than others. So you're going to open up a folder. There's going to be some additional footage in there, but really all of the footage that you need for this is in here. You're not going to go outside and acquire any new footage. I promise you it is all in here. And you'll notice we have 4 folders right here. Once you get this, let's go ahead and make another one. We'll call this exports. And really, I should have been doing that in the beginning. So we're going to have that. You have 3 video files in here and some intro music. And then we're going to put our After Effects file in there. So let's go ahead and open up After Effects. The biggest thing to watch out to, the first thing is really easy. You know about it, and that's masking. People will get points deducted quite often with masking. Second thing to watch out for is timing. That can get you in trouble. The biggest thing with timing is be consistent with all of your transitions. If you're going to have 10 frames when you transition one object from maybe one side to the other, make sure that your next transition will also only have 10 frames. The last thing that gets people is the gradient. So we're going to go ahead, click New Project, and we're going to do New Composition. We'll name this one B99 for Brooklyn Nine-Nine. We're going to do things a little bit differently here. We're not going to do HDTV 1080. We're actually going to do HDTV 720. Okay. Also, we're going to change the seconds down here. So we're going to change that to 20 seconds. Once we do that, I think we're good to go. So there's our composition. I'm going to go File, Import, Files, find that module. I'm going to import my audio, and let's see. I'll import my audio and my video files. Great. One other thing, let's go back to composition settings. You can hit Command K. We're also going to want to make sure that our resolution's in full. Okay, I think we're good. We got our 3 video files and we got our audio. So, first things first, we're going to look at something, and we're basically going to try to recreate the intro. So I can slide over these columns here, and I'll go ahead and hit play. Okay, so really kind of simple stuff here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the tools required to finish this project, and then you're going to finish the project. I'm not going to go through the entire thing. The tutorial would be, 3 hours long if I did that. So I'm just going to show you how to do some of the basic techniques which you can then employ for all the transitions. You'll notice, for example, right here, we have this one transition. We have kind of a scaling effect that occurs. And then we have a mask, right? a red background. In the front, there looks like a gradient. And then we have this rectangle come in from the side, from right to left. Text also comes in from left to right. I'm sorry, from right to left. And then we have the starring text come in from left to right. And then this one come in from the Z-plane, but we're just going to do a scaling on that and cheat a little bit because we're not right into 3D quite yet. We'll be there. Now, here's the pro tip. You'll be able to, for example, use the original file in here. And basically what we're going to do is, for example, from here, I'm going to do the option bracket. And then right before it transitions to the graphic, I'm going to put the close bracket. So you're going to be responsible for all of the text and motion graphics, right? You're not responsible for them scaling things. So you could quite conceivably use most of this intro for everything. The two exceptions will be the last scene right there and the first one right there. So with the first one, you'll be able to acquire that on the intro. Here it is right here. It's called Season 1 Trailer. You'll be able to grab that file right there. And then I don't care what you put for the very last kind of group one. Okay, you can do whatever you want. You could take, for example, this right here, and then just have the last kind of scene. So that's entirely up to you. But again, all of your stuff, all of your files that you need is going to be right in that folder. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's kind of break apart what's going to happen here. So again, let's see. Now there's no real right way to do this. So you may have a different approach than me. For example, you could do the entire project within After Effects. You don't need to go to Photoshop. You could rely more heavily on Photoshop if you wanted to. That's the beauty of this program. That's the beauty of doing a lot of this work, is there's not just one way to get to your destination. My guess is there's probably 4 or 5 ways to do what I'm going to do right now. So this is just, you can use the techniques that I'm showing you and try to do this. It's a little bit like cracking a mystery, right? We're trying to figure out, well, how did they do this? And we might do things a little bit differently. So with that being said, let's start. I guess we'll just use this kind of first clip and I'll break it down. So we can see, I'll put it right there, option. We can see clearly we get the mask, we get the gradient, we got the red background. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and drag that down here. We can do that. And what you could do, for example, is you could quite conceivably use this for a template, right? You can bring this down here, and then if you wanted to, you could probably use markers, right? I'm going to go ahead and hide this. So let's say I start right there. So I could hold down Shift and 8. And then let's say I end right there. Remember markers from last week? And Shift 8. Oh. For some reason I'm getting a All right, so we're gonna end things right there, I guess. All right, so I'm gonna drag this over. Right here, I'm just gonna option end it right there. So it'll be about that long. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get it on that last frame right there. And I'm gonna go up to composition, and I'm gonna do this thing, save frame as. And I'm gonna go Photoshop layers. I'll call this Andy. And I'll save that under pre, go to save. So I'm keeping that playhead right there. And now I'm gonna go over to Photoshop. Now I'm going to open up what I just made. So I made basically a frame grab of it, which is super helpful. All right, so you can see I have kind of a template there, right? That I can copy that, which is great. So let's go ahead and get started. First things first, I'll duplicate this. I'm going to do duplicate layer. And then what I'll want to do is mask. Let's go ahead and do a quick mask here. I have that selected. Ooh, hold down my option because it's a little bit messy. There we go, almost there. So that's a pretty rough looking mask. I'm going to go to select, inverse, hit delete. Oh, let's switch those around, hit delete. There we go. And Command D. Now, it's a little rough. I can go ahead and erase some things, right? The other thing is, like, you look at the shoulders and that sort of thing, and I can use my blur tool. Use your brackets on your keyboard, you'll be able to make the brush bigger or smaller, depending on what you want. Well, that's looking a little rough right there. I'll go ahead and get my brush out. Switch that around. Got that just a little bit. There we go, like so. All right, so that's roughly where I want things. I guess I can do a little better on that hair, huh? Let's go ahead and trim that down a little bit. And I'll go ahead and feather that. Great, so I've kind of masked that out. Next thing I could do is, I guess I could put some sort of a color overlay over the back. So I'm double clicking on that. I'm going to do a color overlay. Let's change that to red. I could do a multiply. How's that look? Not sold on that. So maybe I'll just, yeah, I think I'll bring the opacity down. Make that a little more intense red. Like so. Yeah, I think that's working. Great. Now, so I have two layers here. One thing is, I'll want to get rid of this effect right there. So I'm gonna, actually the way I'll do that is gonna make a new layer, hold the shift key down, and hit Command E. And I'll name that red background. Like so. Now the other thing is, I'm gonna go ahead and, I think I'll want to add a gradient to the front. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm simply going to use the gradient tool up here. Where are we? I'll be right here, gradient tool. And I want to grab probably red, right, like so. Oh, and actually, yeah, I'm changing it so we have a transparency. There we go. That's kind of what I want right there. So it says 16%. Let's bring that up to 30 or so. Or let's even bring it to 50. All right, let's see how that works. There we go. So I'm going to hit Command T, rotate that. I think that works right there. And I'm not so sold on that edge right there, so I'm going to go ahead and erase part of that. I'm going to make sure that brush isn't so hard on the side there, and then just kind of soften that. There we go. And I'll call this gradient. I'm going to go ahead and delete that background. Great. Other thing that I've kind of noticed about this, actually I'm going to hit undo real quick, is it kind of shifts over a little bit, right, to the right. So we're going to try that as well. So let's take these and hit Command T, move it over a little bit, and scale it. Now the problem is we have a little bit too much right there. So what you could do is we could try to take some of that background right there and extend it. So let's go ahead and do that. What we can do is get the clone stamp tool and take a little bit of a sample. Right, like so. Getting there a little bit. It's going to take a little while to do this. Get that police officer there. Part of it is we're trying to imagine what might be happening back there. Okay, well, once you've gone ahead and done that, we can save it. So simply hit Command S. Then we're going to go back into After Effects. And we'll go File, Import. I'm going to take this, but I'm not importing it as footage. I'm going to import it as composition. I'm not going to retain layer styles, just composition. So I have Andy over here, and I'm going to want to drag that right where the playhead was. And then let's see, I have my ending right about there. So I'm going to create my out point. Let's take a peek. And what's neat about this is nested. So I'm going to double click. You can see my playheads at the beginning, and all of my layers are kind of moved out. So in here, I can go ahead and create some of my own things. So for example, I know I need a rectangle. So I'm going to go ahead and make a rectangle. I'm going to rotate that like so. I'll rename that rectangle. And we'll know that it's behind the first one there. So I'm going to drag it in the back. Great. Oh, I'm going to switch to my move tool here. Now, that's kind of where it ends up right there. So I know that it ends up there after about 10 frames. So either 8 or 10. Let's go 9, split the difference. So I'm going to select that rectangle, hit Option P, and then go back to the beginning and slide that off. Comes from the side there, like so. Additionally, I'm going to throw a motion blur on there to kind of sell it. There we go. And I'll go ahead and get some text going. So we're gonna take white here. I'll go ahead and switch it to maybe impact. That works. And I'll scale it a little bit. Make sure that's at 0. Rotate that as well. It looks a little big. Make that smaller. Oh. I can go ahead and lock out other layers if I don't want to. There we go. Just for the heck of it, I want to take a look at that intro again. So it looks like Andy and Sandberg. We got Andy at the top, Sandberg, and then starring. Sandberg comes from the right. So let's start with that. So you can see let's get rid of that first part. Oh, it looks like it's capitalized too, right? Let's go ahead and capitalize that. Also looks like there's a little bit of a, yeah, there we go. Sandberg. And then I'm just going to do the layout first. Andy. This isn't going to be exact, but now I'm using my keyboard, the arrow keys, to kind of move things around. It's a little more exact. And starring looks kind of small. There we go. I'll make starring. I'll make that really small. Rotate that. Bring it down. I guess maybe I'll throw. There we go. Okay, so we have something there. I have the layout at any rate. I'm going to bring those two down. Now, we want the text to kind of appear right there. Almost at the same time. So I have this last one, Sandberg, right there. I'm going to go ahead and hit Option P for position. I'm at 12 frames. I'm going to go back. Let's go back 9 frames or so. And I'm simply going to bring that off screen. And additionally, add the motion blur. There we go. Seems a little slow to me. There we go. That seems a little better. So I changed that to about 7 or 8 frames. Okay. And then we have Andy. I'll select that, hit Option P. With this one, we're going to do a scale. So I'll go back like so. Oh, let's do Option S, sorry, for scale. And I think what we'll do is also an Option P because we see part of it at the beginning. So Option P. And I'm going to move that kind of off screen. Yeah, that works. Let's go ahead and add. Perfect. And then starring we'll bring off from the left there. So Option P for position. And I'll just go ahead and drag that off. There we go. Okay, that seems to work right there. So let's go back to the original composition. There you go. And there you have it. That's really all the tools that you're going to need to know how to do. Most of it is just scaling and position. Don't forget to add that motion blur. Don't forget to add the gradient on top. And then you'll be responsible for each transition through there. You can see this is the older season 1 through 4, I believe. They have a newer one. They've just added one more transition and took Chelsea Peretti out. She's no longer on the show. So that's that. Once you've finished, you're going to go to Composition, Add to Render Queue. Oh, I'm sorry. Composition, not Add to Render Queue. Composition, Add to Adobe Media Encoder. And we're going to export it as H.264 again. It's going to take a little bit of time here. Let's go ahead and see. For some reason, it's gone up here. Okay, so it's by default given me H.264. If you don't know where to go on that, here we go. Simply go to Format, H.264, and you're going to go ahead and match source high bit rate. I'm going to go ahead and name that Tim Willett B99. I'm going to find the folder, remember, that I made at the beginning of this exercise. Go to Exports, click Save, and then go ahead and export it there. Again, when you upload things, you're going to have two files. One is going to be the MPEG-4 file. The other will be the AEP file. Those are going to be the two things that you upload to Frame. All right, good luck. Remember, I'm available 7 days a week if you have any questions. Text me, WhatsApp, Skype. Those are really the only ones that work effectively. You can also email me. Just expect that it will take me 24 hours at least to respond to email. Okay, have a good day. Bye.